Just remember, if you fuck up the edit, you have Molly to answer to.
Yeah, well, Molly, I am really sorry about Lawnmower Man, but I'm not going to close my windows, so.
She doesn't care about such things.
Okay.
Remember, she was Leaf Blower Man. And guess what? We're getting back into the season.
Oh, jeez.
Kinda dropped off all the things I love. Like I need a traffic jam to keep in touch. I can't focus on the words unless my hands are busy. I can't give up on the world or I will leave this city. And it's way too broad what I'm trying to say, but I write it down and let it go. And it's hard to know all the words I need to explain my heart in a single note.
Hello, and welcome to WayTooBroad, a show and tell program for really, really ridiculously excited grown-ups. I'm Hannah, and I have my windows open, and there's a man doing a lawn mowing or leaf blowing next door. I'm really assuming his gender, but I think I know who it is.
I was about to call you out on that.
And these are my co-hosts, Erin and Ben. Hi, Erin.
Hey, Hannah. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
I think I know exactly who it is, because it's so close. I only have one neighbor that's that close. But it could be his wife.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's right.
So, great point, Erin. Way to go. So, yeah, so welcome. Oh, shit. Fuck. Now we're not going to have...
A warm welcome to you.
I did, instead of copying last week's outline to make the new one, I just overwrote it. So now we're not going to have a record in our folders of the episode 193 outline. Tragic.
Too bad we don't have a recording of that conversation that we had.
And a bunch of other notes that I wrote about it that are published.
Yep.
Great point.
Cool. We've got emails today.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do what are we drinking? It's another Saturday recording session of WayTooBroad. Nice and sunny
Another
outside.
sassy Saturday, if you will.
Another sassy Saturday. Just another sassy Saturday.
Like the song goes.
So I would like to know what Ben is drinking.
Ice water.
Shocking.
Classico.
2.
And also Classico.
The sequel.
The squeak one.
Ice water 2, the rehydration.
I'm drinking coffee. My very first iced coffee. Well, it's not iced. You know how I do. It's cold brew with oat milk. Yum, 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 yum.
Your very first one. That's what you said. My very first iced coffee.
Of the day. It's like noon right now. Normally I would have had coffee by now, but I decided to be a good person, good to my body today, and drink a glass of water first. And then I walked down to the local liquor store and got a breakfast sandwich. And then I walked back and made a coffee.
I love that you can walk to a liquor store.
I also told them, when I went in there, I got brave, and the owner was there, and I told him that I really had been looking for Spindor Spiked for a long time. And he called his, order guy, and he was like, if it's in stock, it'll be here on Wednesday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is so social of you for a Saturday morning. I applaud you.
Thanks.
We got two things going on that I would struggle with. Number one, being social so early in the morning. It's like I haven't talked, and the first thing I'm doing is talking to a stranger.
Yeah.
And I know that producer Ian's out of town, so you probably hadn't talked to anybody.
No, I think he was the first person. Well, the first person I talked to was the person I ordered the sandwich from, but the second person was him. Yeah.
So. That's cool that you can walk to a liquor store and that the liquor store sells things other than alcohol. Because in North Carolina, it doesn't happen.
Sandwiches and ice cream and bagels. Erin, what are you drinking?
What's going on? I'm drinking lemon lime seltzer. I'm drinking an iced water, and I'm drinking coffee. My very first coffee. Oh, look at this mug I bought this week.
Ooh, wow, pretty. What?
Nice mug.
Yeah.
What is is it like metallic, or is that just like...
Ooh, yeah, it's so for the listener, and for Hannah. It's this like blue gradient. Number one, it's a mug where the base is larger than the opening, which is something I love in a mug. And I don't know why. And it's got all sorts of blues on it, but then it's finished in this kind of like metallic or like opalescent, I guess you would say.
Love that.
Finish. It's a Starbucks mug. You know, I was at the store and I was walking by the little in-store Starbucks. And I just saw it there, and there was no line at the Starbucks, so I just, like, picked it up and walked out of the store. JK, I bought it.
Love an opalescent finish, and I also love the word opalescent.
Yep.
It's pleasing.
Love everything about everything, except, you know, that it has a big Starbucks brand in the, you can see it now.
Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Yeah,
inside.
That's not obscene.
It's not offensive. Yeah.
That is interesting that you prefer a mug with a wider base than top, because we have a couple of those and I kind of find them annoying.
I don't know why, but I really like them.
Huh. I mean, they're fun to look at. I think they're
we have two.
I think they're harder to deal with in like a storage capacity. And then also, I don't like them as much for ice cream, because I always end up getting ice cream on the top. I always have ice cream in mugs, so.
I use a bowl. Yeah, for some reason I find them to be like
a
cozy.
Too.
Yeah. I wasn't really considering your ice cream usage. You know what? Please don't use this bowl for ice cream at Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Okay, you mean mug?
That's a mug.
I mug, yeah.
Say I mug, yeah.
I mug.
I mug,
yeah. We understood, you know, every bit of the way. We both understood what you meant. So
every drop of the way. All right, that's all I got.
All right. Great puns. Just remembered I need to light my podcast candle. Okay, emails.
Light that candle.
It's me.
Oh, I've got them both open. Should I read them? Well, we've got.
Why don't you read one of them?
Yeah, I'll read. Hold on. Okay, we have an email from somebody I don't recognize, so that's exciting. Okay, we have, I'll read first from Brown. A gift. Hi, folks. I saw something the other day and ordered it for Erin immediately because it celebrates something she loves. I hope it's mugs with wide bases. Okay. So keep an eye out for a package, Erin. Hannah and Bet, I love you both, but this is all Erin. Small hint. Think Spanish. This probably won't help at all, actually. Chuckle, chuckle. Mom/aunt and a great person in her own right, Elizabeth Brown. XO to all of you, Liz Brown. There's so many things I love about this email. Thank you, Aunt Brown, for sending it. And I just love the energy of this email. I'm excited to get a package. I love that you signed off twice in this email and gave a shout out to yourself. Genuinely love everything about this. Thank you so much.
A great person in her own right. That's
It's true.
That's right. That's correct.
Was she hoping that we would read that and it would sound like we were saying that?
If so, we failed her.
It's a great idea.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read the other one, which is from a listener named Samantha. Is this, you're saying you don't recognize this name?
No, this is, I think, a different Samantha than our friend Sam. So let's, then my friend Sam.
And I don't recognize their name. So this
I
may
assumed
be,
it was your friend Sam.
Yeah. This may be someone we haven't heard from before, which is really exciting.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, Samantha. So, okay. Hello. As someone who is also planning a garden for next year, I thought I'd give some suggestions for Hannah. Firstly, I know you said you were thinking about foxgloves because they spread easily, but I'd actually encourage you to only plant them if you intend to keep them contained, as they are an invasive species. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, that's actually important to know, because our land is like in some way protected, so we really only want to plant native plants as much as possible. So thanks. I would recommend planting Joe Pyeweed or sweet Joe Pyeweed for shady areas. It's native, spreads easily, and is a big attractant for butterflies. Plus, it supposedly smells like vanilla. Okay, also interesting, this is me, Hannah talking, not the email, because we have a lot of Joe Pyeweed and I've never tried to smell it, so I'm gonna have to go do that. Ian was very excited about seeing Joe Pyeweed, and I didn't understand why, but maybe this was part of it. It's pretty. I mean, I can't remember if we have like purple, white, and yellow flowers kind of growing right now. I think they're the white or the purple, because I think the yellow is goldenrod, but I don't remember which. For ground cover, anemone flowers are great as they're supposedly very fast spreading, low growing, and several varieties are hardy enough to withstand trampling. Love that. Native mints are also good options for spreading plants. They tend to attract lots of pollinators and many varieties are edible.
Yes.
For other butterfly attractants, white and yellow wild indigos are food sources for several butterflies. Finally, for further research, I really like the site prairiemoon.com. They sell plants, but they also just have a lot of great information. You can filter by state and hardiness zone, and for every plant, they show a map of which counties it's native/introduced and if it's endangered in the region. Wow, that's really cool. I'll definitely check that out. They also often tell you if the plant has any special relationship to specific butterfly or pollinator species. I hope you find some of this helpful. And thanks to all three of you for the weekly entertainment. WayTooBroad is one of my favorite podcasts.
Wow.
Wow, thank you.
Thanks, Samantha.
This is super helpful. I have never heard of this site before, and it sounds awesome. I did build the whole, just to give an update on that, I did build the whole, kind of the lay of the land into that planning software I talked about last week. And I started, playing with sort of accessories and stuff. And Ian laid out some of the plants that are already there. But we haven't really started thinking about what plants to add. So your timing is excellent. Just perfect. So
I want to give a +1 to the mint. I think that's a great idea. We have some mint in our backyard. It's actually planted in kind of a bad place because it kind of spreads out and kind of blocks part of the path. Which is a problem because when it blooms, there's just always a ton of bees on it, which is great and we love. But it's tricky when you want to go over the path. And then also anytime you want a mojito. You're all hooked up.
Yeah.
So
we actually, at our last house, we tried to plant Corsican mint, which is super tiny mint leaves that are super easy to they don't get hurt when you walk on them. But our backyard was it got so wet when it would rain a lot that they just they didn't hold up to it. Well, some spots did and some spots didn't, but the parts that did, it definitely spread. It smelled great. Anytime you walked over it or brushed your foot over it, you'd get this nice whiff of light mint smell, and it was so nice.
Love it.
This site looks amazing. Thank you so much.
Very cool. Thanks, Samantha. I'd be interested to hear how you found out about the podcast in general.
Yeah.
Sorry if one of us does know you and we are having a brain fart.
Yeah, but either way, thank you for listening.
Yeah. Dope.
This is awesome. I super appreciate this. Wow. So great.
I feel like the anemone should be called Earth Anemone instead of, because there's a C in an anemone.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, vote for a rename there. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Oh, wow, there's a lot of different kinds. Ooh, so pretty. Oh my goodness. All right, I got to get off this website right now, but I will check it out later. Cool. Other upfronts. I don't think I have any. As Erin mentioned at some point, producer Ian is not here this weekend, so I'm all on my own until Monday afternoon, which is weird. Weird. I haven't been by myself in this house for longer than a few hours since we moved here. So,
how's it feeling so far? Any hauntings last night?
No.
First night on your own?
No hauntings. I think
Good.
I kind of feel like my conception of ghosts, I mean, maybe demons would be a little different, but my conception of ghosts is not that they're super strategic. I feel like if we were going to experience ghost activity, it wouldn't matter whether I was by myself or not.
I really like that point of view. They're not plotting. They're not sitting around plotting.
Yeah, they've got their own shit to do. They don't care about me.
That's true.
Yeah. No, it's been fine. The cats have been a little bit more clingy than usual, especially Squeaks, because Squeaks usually hangs out with Ian the most. And I've been watching more things on the TV really loud. Has been the main difference, because Ian is he doesn't like loud noises, and I do. So,
did you have a moment of realization, while you're watching TV, you're I can turn this up, or did you was that one of the things you thought about when he's I'm leaving? You're I'm gonna turn the volume up.
It was not something that I thought about specifically when he decided he was leaving. But the thing that made me realize was last night. So when we watched Abe Lincoln Vampire Hunter last night, I
as part of Wasamanu shout out.
Yeah. Oh, and I've been thinking when we talked about Waspanu, I didn't say like big, huge shout out to you, Erin, for doing the list this year.
I would say me and Molly equal partners
and Molly.
on that.
Huge shout out to Erin and Molly for making the list, and also for doing the reminders every day and stuff, because I know that is a lot of work. Every bit of that is a lot of work because I did it last year. So thank you so much.
Shout out to you for doing it last year. Happy to take the load this year, as it were. So.
But so the thing is with HBO Max, it for some reason doesn't let you control when you like cast to your TV. It doesn't let you control the volume with your phone because it's like surround sound is enabled, and I'm like, motherfucker, I don't have surround sound. Like, why are you doing this to me? But I saw it and I was like, oh Jesus Christ! And then I was like, oh wait, I don't care at all, because if it's too loud, I'll just keep watching it. Like, I don't have to turn it down every time there's a loud noise. So
yeah,
that was the moment that I realized.
Nice. How was it? How was that experience? Because there were a few like quiet moments and then loud moments in that movie.
When you have it turned up and you don't care about loud noises, it doesn't matter.
Wow, I'm
awesome.
so
Love it.
I'm definitely Team Ian when it comes to that. I have such a low tolerance for the TV getting too loud. I don't know why. It's not like it like hurts my ears or anything, but like sometimes I'm annoying and have to like have the remote with me while we're watching TV so I can dynamically turn it down at the loud parts of movies and TV shows.
That's what it's like watching with Ian, 100%. Yeah. But
Ben and Ian are the old man.
The old man. It's just like, I don't know. That is purposeful, right? Like, I've come to realize I've since Ian and I have been living together, I've spent a lot of time frustrated with TV shows and movies for having really loud parts and really quiet parts, right? But also it's like, and also music too sometimes, like, you know, it has dynamics, and movies and TV are the same way. They have dynamics because there are parts that are supposed to be loud parts, right? And like, so if you're not sensitive to that, it's not a bother, because you just have it turned up for the low parts, and then when it gets loud, you're like, oh, this is a loud part, and that's what it is. But
yeah, I mean, you can get
different.
You can get that effect. Like, I feel like I don't lose anything by turning it down at that part.
Yeah, that's
because
fine.
I like get that it's like, oh, this part's supposed to be loud because it's like whatever, I don't know, whatever it's doing.
See, I'm approaching it from a different angle. My frustration is the quiet parts, because I feel like the issue is not the loud parts, it's that the quiet parts are too quiet, and then you have your volume turned up because you're not talking loud enough.
Yes,
So,
I actually agree. I think that movies should generally be, or movies and TV shows should generally be mixed more evenly than they are a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I think that's probably true, because
and some movies in particular are egregious with it.
Yeah.
I also feel like this is probably a sound quality issue. Like, if we had really nice speakers.
If I did have surround sound.
Yeah, or surround sound, or even like a speaker bar. I don't wonder, because I also blame a lot of that on my TV, to be quite honest. And so I wonder if I had a better speaker scenario, if that would be less egregious.
Maybe.
Yeah, so that's been the main difference. And then also I had chocolate milk, which I'm not banned from doing when he's here, but I never have.
But why? I really wanted I saw you post that. So not only is she saying this now on podcast, she also posted it in Slack, which really makes me want to dig into it. What do you think about Ian being gone freed you up to drink chocolate milk? Probably with ingredients you already had.
Yeah, well, we have not had chocolate syrup for a long time, and I recently got it, but I got it like a week or two ago, and I haven't used it. Also,
just waiting for him to leave. I'm waiting for Ian to leave the house so I can stir up some chocolate milk.
I don't think it had a lot to do with him not being here. I think there was like extra milk, and we finally had chocolate syrup, and also
you sounded like a grandma there saying chocolate sauce.
And also, we were out of Spindrift, so obviously the logical substitute
great replacement
for Spindrift is chocolate milk. I think that's also, maybe it's a little comforting, because the last time I used to frequently drink chocolate milk was when I was a kid. So
yeah,
you know, I don't know, but it was good.
I also wonder, you know, in I try to like have special treats when it's like bachelor time, just like that's what I call it. Like, just like treat myself. And so I feel like maybe you were in that zone of like, what would I like?
Yeah.
What does Hannah want?
Yeah, when I'm away, Ian has like, he makes himself like hamburgers or like peppers and onions because I hate that shit. But like, it's because like I'm the pickier one. So there's not like a lot of stuff that I could eat that would be like, Ian wouldn't tolerate it, you know, like he likes most food. So
For me, it's Thai food.
Do you?
I get Thai food if I'm alone.
Oh.
Because Kylie doesn't like Thai
You
food.
don't like Thai food?
Nah.
Wow.
wow.
What pepper and onions, are you offended at the smell?
Yes.
Okay.
And yes. And also the way his breath smells afterwards for hours. Hours. And don't say he should just brush his teeth because it doesn't matter. It gets like stuck in the back of your throat and you can just like smell it for hours.
I wasn't gonna say that. There's the only thing we have that's equivalent to that is there's this latte flavor that I occasionally like to get from one of my local coffee shops. The flavor is macadamia nut syrup. It's from Parker Notice. You guys been to? And it's delicious. It tastes like peanut butter. But Molly like hates the way my breath gets after that, and it's like, don't get that one.
It's like an all around bad flavor because it doesn't taste like what it's supposed to taste like.
Tastes like peanut butter.
Well, it evokes the flavor of peanut butter. It's a great flavor. It's very nice. It's very rich.
Does it taste like macadamia nuts?
Well, it tastes like macadamia nut butter, okay? How's that?
It's not okay. It's not what you said, but that's
It tastes like nut butter. How's that?
that's too broad.
Gross.
Way too broad. Yeah. Alright. Should we pop in?
No, I mean, yes.
Please.
Okay.
Please, for the love of God.
Wait.
Ben, what's your
Okay.
obsession?
All right. I was actually thinking about talking this as an upfront. I'm going to just have two.
Okay.
Great.
Because one is very minor, and it's something I already shared on Slack, but I don't know if Hannah read it, which is this interview that Jeff Probst gave
Oh,
about
I did read
the new.
it.
You did read it? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna.
I think you need
I'm
to...
still gonna read it
Yeah.
for everyone, and let me explain the context a bit. So, this season on Survivor, Jeff Probst has like a couple things that he always says exactly the same way across all 41 seasons of Survivor. And in a way, they're very comforting as Survivor gets very chaotic to have like Jeff do the exact same thing. And one of those things is when the survivors are coming into a challenge, he always goes, "Come on in, guys," and then looks at his feet. The looking at his feet part, I didn't notice before, but if you go back and watch, he definitely does. And is important for this question. This season of Survivor last year took I forget what they call like diversity pledge, where like they said that that they've committed to like every season from now on, at least half of the cast will be like underrepresented populations.
Nice.
And so this season has like a lot of queer and black and Asian and brown contestants, which is great. But also as kind of as part of this in the first episode, Jeff was like, opened the floor to the new contestants and was like, "Hey, do you all think I should stop saying 'come on in, guys', because like the word guys is gendered and there are better options." And they eventually agreed that he would stop saying it, which then led to this question during this interview with Entertainment Weekly. And I'm just going to read the question. I'm going to read Jeff's whole answer, and we have to talk about it a little bit. All right. Finally, after discussing it with the contestants, you decided to tweak your trademark challenge intro line, eliminating the word guys. While I support the change, I am concerned about one other aspect of the equation which is yet to be addressed. Will you still look at your feet when you tell the players to now come on in? Jeff replies, "So glad you asked. Yes, I will continue to look at my feet. And I guess I'll finally share the reason I do it. Wow, I didn't expect to be this open. Already we're like, what? So open? Like, when I got to this part, the first part, this like, what do you mean? Where on earth? Like, if you gave me 40 years, I would not have been able to guess where this was going. So I'm gonna go back now. I'm a bit emotional as this is pretty revealing, but here it goes. Okay. That brief moment when I look down at my feet is when all the magic happens. For that is the moment I connect with my powerful alter ego and guide, known only as Survivor Guy." Survivor Guy first came to me years ago while we were in Marquesas Islands filming the 4th season of the show. I was sitting alone on an island enduring a tremendous rainstorm. Why? Was he alone on the island? Whatever. This was something I did on a regular basis, as I've always been a method host and wanted to be able to relate to what the players were feeling. I remember seeing a rat scurry past, and then seemingly out of nowhere, Survivor Guy appeared right in front of me. Weirdly, he looked a lot like me, only significantly cooler. He wore animal skins, had much longer hair, a lot of odd tattoos, and a feather necklace. I'll never forget his first words to me. Jeff, I am Survivor Guy. I am your alter ego, and if you embrace what I have to offer, I can make your life on Survivor better than ever. We sat for the next 6 hours as he regaled me with the tales from his life of jungle living. I'll be honest, I don't remember a lot of it because I was pretty damn cold, but it was clear he was very earnest, even though his stories seemed completely implausible. Then, as the sun began to rise, he said, I must go. I'm needed somewhere else.
Go.
This is my favorite part. This is my absolute favorite part. He started to walk away, then began a slow run, and finally leaped up as though he were going to fly away, kind of like a bird. But instead, he only got about 6 inches of air, stumbled a bit, and then kept walking, finally disappearing into the jungle. To this day, Survivor Guy remains my survivor spirit animal. Survivor Guy guides me. Survivor Guy informs me. Survivor Guy literally gives me the questions at Tribal Council. Survivor Guy also comes up with those incredibly memorable lines, like "Got nothing for you" or "Worth playing for." He even gave me a couple new quips this season, including "Sorry for you." I'm still working on the delivery, but I'm confident it's a keeper. To this day, I don't know where he comes from or where he actually lives, but I'll tell you this, he's my superhero. I'd be lost without Survivor Guy.
Wow. That's simply, what's your take on this, Ben?
Well, so we saw this on Tuesday, and then the new episode of Survivor was Wednesday, because we're watching season 41 as it comes out, and it really made me watch the show in a whole new light, especially watching Tribal Council, because there are times, like, the best part about Tribal Council is, like, how direct Jeff is most of the time. Well, he'll be like, you seem to hate this person. Why do you hate them? Can you explain why they suck? Like, he'll just ask, like, it's so or he'll just, like, ask nonsense questions, and, like, knowing that that's really Survivor Guy in there, it gives it a whole new light. And I don't know what to make of this whole... I don't know. I wonder if he's told other people about this, and that's why he has a name for it, or if it's just I don't know.
And this is the only time he's ever spoken of Survivor Guy, to your knowledge?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think it's interesting, Ben, because through you watching... Okay, actually, the first thing I want to say is I think it's actually probably not cool for him to call Survivor Guy his spirit animal. It's the only part of that I was totally. Like, bleh. I feel like Native people for generations now have been begging white people to stop using that term. But other than everything else besides that is just so wonderful and hilarious. I wonder if he made Survivor Guy up for this question, or if he really has had a hallucination.
I feel like he absolutely had a hallucination. Ben knows him better than I do, but I feel like this is 100% real.
But the other thing I was going to say
is... it is real to him, too.
Yeah. But the other thing I was going to say is that I feel like one really unexpected thing that's come out of you and Kylie watching Survivor is that my respect for Jeff Probst has just, like, skyrocketed. Like, between this thing you just told me about with the, like, diversity pledge, and also there was a clip that you shared with us a while ago. I don't know if we talked about it on here, where, like, Jeff Probst, like, confronted someone for basically being transphobic to another player. Like,
he outed the player as trans on
not Jeff Probst, but the other player did.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jeff Probst called him out for it, and then they also Survivor paid for, like, therapy for the player who was outed, and then that guy was on. Being so unclear, the trans contestant was in Disclosure, I think.
Oh,
yeah. Really? Oh,
yes.
Huh. Because it was really cool because he definitely did not. Jeff Probst definitely did not let that other guy like get away with any of the stuff he was saying. He was like, "What, why do you think it's cool to out this person?" And also, when asking for his rationale for why he did it, the other player said something like, "It just shows that he's like dishonest or something." And Jeff Probst was like, did not let him get away with any of that shit either. And like, it was like, that's not what that means. And I don't remember the whole thing, but he was very stern with him and extremely clear.
Daddy didn't like that.
That's right. Survivor Guy. Actually, that was a tribal council, so that was Survivor Guy.
That was Survivor Guy.
Yeah.
That was Survivor Guy.
Survivor Guy says trans right.
Yeah. That's right.
Zeke Smith was the contestant's name.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
But how do you spell Zeke? Is that with the Z?
Yep. Z-E-K-E.
I feel like that could be with an X. Do not at me like Xander.
Xerox.
Yeah, yours is the name of a contestant on Survivor this season.
Wow.
Came full circle.
Cool. What's your so Survivor Guy? Awesome.
Yeah, I just need more people to know about Survivor Guy. Honestly, my obsession is evangelizing Survivor Guy. Just sending that article to as many people as I can and making them read that.
Read it.
My real obsession is another board game, actually. Didn't I talk about Wingspan last time?
Yeah.
Sure did.
I'm going to talk about another one. Actually, did I ever talk about it before? Because this is a good...
Hold on, I just want to cite the episode that you talked about Survivor on. It's, remember about Survivor, this is Obsession 184. Well, we learned a lot in a hostile way.
That's a good name.
It was a July 4th episode, of course.
Oh, fireworks.
Of course.
This is a board game that I played a while ago, really liked when I played it, and then completely forgot about it until we played it again the other day at our friend's house, who were the people we originally played it with. And it's called Roll for the Galaxy.
Oh.
And it is apparently, I don't know if it's like a sequel or like an alternate version of a game that already existed called Race for the Galaxy, which I've never played actually. But from what I hear, Race for the Galaxy is like a lot harder, a lot more complicated to get into or something. Whereas Roll for the Galaxy is a little easier to get into, but they like took out some mechanics. I don't really care. I really like Roll for the Galaxy. It's dice based, and it's kind of like actually it's kind of like Wingspan. It's like an engine builder type game. It's in a sci-fi environment, but you're basically rolling these special little dice that are really cool looking, and each dice represents a worker who can do various, like 5 different things each turn. And you like pick what you're going to do and try it. You're basically trying to like build settlements, build developments, settle new planets. And once you've settled new planets, you want to like produce goods and ship goods from those planets. That's all the ways you get victory points. It's like one of those games that's a little complicated to like explain at first when you first start playing, but once you get going, it's like very straightforward. Just kind of like continue. And something really interesting about it is that there are no turns. Like play is it says it multiple times in the rule book. Play is simultaneous. So you like the way a turn goes is like everyone rolls their dice and then like decides where they're going to assign their workers, basically, and then you all reveal at the same time what different things you chose to do, and then everyone just does them in the order of like phase 1 through 5. But you can do them in you can just all do your stuff. It's really interesting.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like that's maybe also my only complaint about it is that sometimes it feels like it can feel like you're really playing your own game. You're not like it's just like 4 people sitting and trying to do their own thing. But it's there are some elements of interaction to it. Like for example, someone you can only like choose. There are 5 different like actions basically you can think of that you can take each turn, and you can only choose one of them that you can guarantee is going to happen. But then if someone else chooses a different action, then like you still get to do that also if you had any workers assigned to it. So there's like a bit of gambling there because you're like trying to figure out what other people are going to want to do on in the next turn. So there's that element to it. That's really the extent of kind of the active interaction with other players in the game. I don't really mind it though, because it makes it so that it's like not, there's no like fucking people over or like.
Well, that's what I was going to ask about. Like, are you competing for resources and stuff? Like, how are you not? I feel like the order of play is usually a way to like you get something in before someone else does that, so then they can't do it. But like, there's not a lot of things that conflict like that in the game.
No, it's pretty much you're just trying to get the most victory points, and like there are two ways the game can end. I mean, there's like, so one of the ways the game can end is for one player to like build 12 combined developments and planets, and you can do a strategy where you like only pick really low cost ones and build a bunch really quickly to try and end the game fast. So in a way, you can kind of like long term fuck over everyone else by trying to just end the game quickly before they get to build victory points from like shipping and stuff. But there's not really like competition for resources. There's not, because all of the resource management, like the only resource in the game are your dice, and so like all of the resource management is how many dice you're putting on of your own dice you're putting on things. You have to also, once dice have been used to like develop a planet, you have to buy them back to be able to roll them again the next turn. And so there's money, but the only purpose of it is to buy dice back to put in your cup. So it's kind of all self-contained, in your own little world exploring the galaxy. And I just really like it so much. It's a very fun game.
Ben, it's not like a race-based thing. Like if you were going really fast and I was going slow, is there kind of like you kind of wait for
you have to like
for everybody between turns?
Yeah, so like
it's like you don't have an advantage.
The play on each turn is simultaneous, but like everyone has to start the turns at the same time because because you pick like what phases will actually happen that turn is based on what people chose. So like you for example like you can only make developments if someone chose to develop. So you have to wait till the next turn to see what else people chose to do for the next turn. So you can't just like do a million turns in a row. So in that way there is like we have to wait for everyone. But yeah, it's really good. I'm going to bring it to Thanksgiving, which
great.
I already took the week off for, I think.
Yeah.
So
are y'all driving or flying?
Probably driving. Probably driving.
Drive,
Bitch.
I don't really want to fly.
We're flying first class. Bitch.
Yes.
Are you really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm gonna drive.
Yeah, you should drive. I think
I'm gonna drive.
Ben, I think I mentioned this on the podcast, but we bought first class tickets for our trip to Savannah we were supposed to take.
Oh,
for
right, yeah.
Our anniversary, and then we canceled that, so I transferred them over to be for Thanksgiving instead. Cool. That sounds good. Excited to play that with you.
Yeah, same.
Dude.
Ben, is it good for 2 players?
I haven't played it with 2 players, but our friends who introduced us to it play it 2 players sometimes, and I think it's good. I actually want to try it if I convince Kylie to play with me at some point today.
Report back. Tell her it's important. Tell her
it's
you're
important.
Testing out for me.
Yeah, I will.
Because you'll be like, oh, you want to play this game? She'll be like, no, why would I want to play this game with you? When you could say it's for Erin, and she'll be like, oh, absolutely. Sorry, you should have said something sooner.
I wanted to mention, I didn't check before we started recording, but we broke 30,000 downloads this week for the show. Like,
wow.
Total. So good congratulations. Good congratulations to us.
Good for congratulations. 30K, somebody do this math for me, times how many episodes? 194. How many is that per episode? It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's like 3.
Awesome. 193, because this week is 194. Mm-hmm. So, calc you later?
Like 155 per ep. That's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Does that count the time I accidentally downloaded our whole catalog when I was developing the website?
It might, but that was only like 400, so we're not that far off either way.
Cool. Love it. That was my bad.
No worries. It was great. Cool. Should we pop into me now?
Yeah, Ben, any last words about Roll the Galaxy?
Roll for the galaxy.
Roll for the Galaxy?
No.
Okay.
Hannah, what's your obsession?
I also have two, both of them being pretty short, so that's why I brought two.
Was I supposed to have two?
One of them being, I have taken an interest recently, and I might bring it as a full obsession later, but I just recently, received these books. But, I've talked before about how, part of what the invention of whiteness did was also rob white people of their cultural, heritages, right? And so I've been thinking about that in the context of myself and my own life, and my own ancestry, and as I had also been looking into our ancestors, seeing that so many of them were from Ireland. They're from other places, but a lot of them were from Ireland. So I've been kind of trying to find good resources for learning about the types of things that they would have known about their own folklore and sort of more deep cultural ritual practices and stuff. And it's really thorny ground to kind of look for that information nowadays, because you have to be really careful, I would say, not to accidentally wander into white supremacist rhetoric. And also anything that talks about Wicca or Celtic witchcraft or whatever in that particular terminology, I find to be automatically kind of suspicious, because witchcraft and Wicca specifically has appropriated a whole ton from indigenous cultures. And I think that there is a big lack of recognition of that in a lot of the sort of books that people have written about it in the modern age, or write about how to practice it and stuff. And I'm not necessarily looking to become a witch. That's not my goal. My goal is to learn about I don't know if indigenous is the right word for Irish people who originated there, but original Irish practices and beliefs and folklore and stuff. So I got a couple of books that I'm excited to read. And maybe, like I said, maybe I'll bring them later. One of them is called Botanical Folk Tales of Britain and Ireland by Lisa Schneido, who's actually a botanist, but this supposedly has folk tales in it that are related to that. I thought with plants, how racist can you get? And then the second one is actually a compilation of folk tales, fairy and folk tales. It's called Fairy and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry, and it's actually a compiled sort of collection of stories translated by W.B. Yeats. So he didn't write them. He maybe wrote the introductions, but they're basically just stories that he compiled. And I've only read a few pages of the one by Yeats. I haven't read any of the other one, so I'm not prepared to talk about it as a whole obsession. But I just wanted to mention it as something I'm kind of excited to dig into.
She's getting hype.
I'm getting hype. So far I've learned about the puka. That's the only thing that I've learned about, which is a goat.
What is the puka?
It's a goat creature. It's supposed to be maybe what Puck was loosely based off of in Shakespeare. But yeah, it's interesting. And apparently it has a strong association with November. There were legends of people would go make offerings and talk with some creature that maybe was the puka that lived in the sort of mountains, and it would kind of pop half its body out of the mountains and talk to them in English or whatever their language was at the time about anything that would happen to them between that time and the following November. It knew the future, but only until November. Which is so weird and cool. That's the kind of stuff I'm after, is just the weird random stuff and the stories and things. So I'm really excited to read that.
I asked because there's a Dominion card in Nocturne called Puka.
Oh, really?
So I was wondering if that was related.
I guess it can also come in other forms of animal. Goat is the main one, but there's also sometimes described a horse.
That card has a lady that looks like a goat on it.
It's possible. The other one, which I have more information on, but don't want to share it because it would be spoilers, is a TV show, a Netflix show. Are you looking up the card?
Oh. Yeah, sorry, I'm just going to drop this in our chat. Okay. Because I gotta. All right.
Toady. Oh, yeah. Okay. So I don't know what animal that's supposed to be. But in one of the stories I read, the puka did give someone, well, it wasn't the puka, but the puka caused someone to receive gold, which then turned into leaves the next day. So, kind of cursed in its own way. Interesting. She looks like I was going to say she looks like a donkey, but that tail is not like a donkey.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Okay.
Thought.
Excuse me. Hold on.
Okay, so your TV show.
Okay, so I did
the one you made.
I did the thing again where I just watched a show that was trending on Netflix. And
can we define watch?
What do you? Like on what did I watch it?
No, like what? How many other things were you doing at the same time as watching?
I watched the first episode on the television and did very little else. And maybe it's like six episodes, I think. And I did some other stuff during some of them. Maybe I did some picture-in-picture while I played dots on some of them. I don't know. But I've watched it actually. I'm starting it a second time now because I liked it a lot. And it is a scary show, perfect for Halloween. Maybe a little too scary for Erin. I actually found it not through the Netflix trending, but because someone on TikTok made a video saying they did not recommend it because it was too scary and they couldn't sleep after they watched it. But it was good, but they couldn't recommend that anybody watch it. And so I was like, well, I have to see this. Yeah.
For that reason, I'm out.
So I watched it like that. I started watching it that day, and it's called Midnight Mass.
Is that new? You say it's new?
It's new, yeah. It's by the guy. You know what else got me intrigued is that it's the same guy who did the same like creator as the guy as The Haunting of Hill House and The Haunting of Bly Manor. It's not part of that trilogy, I don't think. It shares like a couple of the same actors, but I think there's still a third one of those coming. I don't think this is it. I could be wrong about that. I didn't look it up. But it's the aesthetic is extremely different. It takes place on a small island in the U.S. I don't know what state. Let me see if I can figure that out.
The old US of A, you say?
The US of A, yeah. Here is the short description. The arrival of a charismatic young priest brings glorious miracles, ominous mysteries, and renewed religious fervor to a dying town desperate to believe. It's I don't know if they say what like state it's in, but it's like a small fishing village on an island, like a small island. It used to be a bigger population, but now it's only got like less than 200 people living there because there was an oil spill like 3 years before this show starts. And so the fishing kind of dried up for a while. And then once the bay was kind of cleaned out or whatever the water is, there were like strict fishing limits put in place by like the environmentalists to help like replenish the waters and stuff. So first they couldn't fish because everything was contaminated, and then they couldn't fish because there were limits, or they could fish but they couldn't make as much money. So the town's been basically like dying a slow death over the last like 3 years. People have just been moving away. A lot of people are not even trying to sell their houses anymore. They're just like finding other jobs and leaving, like abandoning their homes. So it used to be hundreds of people living there, and now it's like less than 200. So the show is really about like the people that remain and the events that occur to them as this new like priest shows up to like lead their church, and the faithful and the faithless and all the various kind of people there. It's like very much about there's like, you know, more main characters and less main characters, but you know, you come to care about a lot of the people and you follow a lot of their stories, and it's kind of got a slow start, but boy does it ramp up when it ramps up. And I think it's really interesting. Like, I think it is scary, and it's definitely not perfect, but like it's got a lot of interesting kind of like themes and perspectives, and made me kind of think a lot about the nature of religious belief in a lot of ways. So if you are up for something that is potentially pretty scary, I would recommend it. And if you're Erin, I would probably not recommend it. Like,
Thank you. I feel very seen. There's no way I'm going to watch that unless you tell me it's gay, and then I might watch it.
I don't think it's... There is a lesbian doctor in it, but I mean, she's not enough. It's enough of a draw, I don't think, to outweigh the rest of it. She's not a
to outgay the rest.
So I don't want to ruin it past that. But yeah, if you're looking for like a scary thing to watch, and it is only 6 episodes, I believe. Please, can you tell me? It's 7 episodes. I'm sorry. It's 7 episodes, about an hour long each. And so it's, you could finish it before Halloween. And
The thing is that I would like to watch something like that. It sounds really interesting. It's just not worth it.
yeah. I like the person who it's hard to
Don't try to talk me into watching
no,
it.
I'm not gonna try to. It's just hard to I don't exactly understand why the person who said that it was too scary. I don't like what's the scary, what's too scary for you, like in terms of actual content of a show is so personal. Like, but if I were to tell you the things that you might be scared of, it could ruin a lot of the like surprise.
Yeah, don't. You know what I'm scared of, and you don't have to. I trust you when you say it's too scary.
But, maybe there'll be some, like, think pieces that come out that you can watch that will be more kind of, like... I do that sometimes. If something is, like, inaccessible to me or I just don't think that I would be able to get through it in a way that feels safe to me, then I'll, like, watch YouTube for, like, analytical pieces from people I respect and kind of, like, watch those instead, even if they spoil everything.
That's a good strap. Yeah, it's a good strap. Thanks. Or, like, Molly can watch it. She can tell me about it.
Yeah, Molly would probably like it.
Oh, Molly doesn't mind scary stuff?
I don't think
it's
I'm a big baby.
What's the name of the guy who made this though?
Mike Flanagan.
That made me thinking about getting nightmares. Reminded me I wanted to tell you this, Hannah. The morning this week. My alarm.
The morning this week.
The morning this week. A morning this week. My alarm just ripped me out of like a deep sleep, which is normally not welcome. But I was having this dream where I was at this party that I just, like, was not enjoying. And I was thinking, how am I going to get out of this party? And then my alarm went up and I was like, oh, thank God.
Is it scary or just, like, a bad party?
No, it was boring. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to go home. And I just felt trapped.
Wow, that's perfect.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to be waking up, but... glad not to be at that party anymore. Wow.
Well, congratulations on the timing of that alarm. Wow.
Thanks. Thank you.
But yeah, that's it. So, I would suggest try to explore the history of your national origins and also watch Midnight Mass if you want to get a little bit spooked.
Great stuff.
Cool. Erin, what is your obsession?
Erin, what is your obsession?
Okay, I have an obsession. I've been obsessed with this for a few weeks. It's a book. It's a book called by Casey McQuiston, and it's called One Last Stop.
Ooh.
Here it is. And I had been obsessed with it, but it was one of those books that I was like afraid to finish, and so it sat like I had just devoured the first 3 quarters, and then it sat on my nightstand with a quarter left to read, and I was avoiding eye contact with it for maybe a week, and then I finished it. It was great. So this is I'm going to read you the back cover. I'm not going to call it a romance novel because it's not. It's just it's a novel. It's great. I mean, I say that loving romance novels, but like the romance novels assumes a certain quality, and this is a great quality. So let me read you just the back cover. For cynical 23-year-old August, moving to New York City is supposed to prove her right, that things like magic and cinematic love stories don't exist, and the only smart way to go through life is alone. She can't imagine how waiting tables at a 24-hour pancake diner and moving in with too many weird roommates could possibly change that. And there's certainly no chance of her subway commute being anything more than a daily trudge through boredom and electrical failures. But then there's this gorgeous girl on the train, Jane. Dazzling, charming, mysterious, impossible Jane. Jane with her rough edges and swoopy hair and soft smile, showing up in a leather jacket to save August's morning when she needs it the most. August's subway crush becomes the best part of her day, but pretty soon she discovers there's one big problem. Jane doesn't just look like an old school punk rocker. She literally is displaced from time. Oh, sorry. She's literally displaced in time from the 1970s, and August is going to have to use everything she tried to leave in her own past to help Jane. Maybe it's time to start believing in some things after all.
Wow.
Casey McQuiston's One Last Stop is a magical, sexy, big-hearted romance where the impossible becomes possible as August does everything in her power to save the girl lost in time.
Huh.
So it's kind of like romance novel-y, sci-fi-y kind of time travel situation. It's great. Really well written. Made me cry a lot. Made me laugh. Like belly laugh out loud. Fantastic book. Just love it. Probably one of like my favorite books I've read in quite some time.
Wow, I love that. I love the cover.
Yeah. Yes.
Which one is which?
And then like Jane is the one on the subway wearing the leather jacket, and August is the with the curly red hair there.
So cute.
The curly.
So that book sounded really familiar to me, and so I texted Kylie and asked if she heard of it. And she said, not immediately. Oh, wait, yes. I almost bought that book when I was in Trident. It's gay, right? Gay and trains. That's what I remember. It looked good.
Gay and trains.
Yeah.
Gay and trains. You think that describes it well?
Gay and trains or gay and trans?
Gay and trains.
Gay and trans, yes. And there's, and but yes to both, I'd say.
Wow.
Yeah. It's great. I highly recommend to Kylie. I think she would dig it.
What is this other one?
I think anybody would dig it. It's
Do
great.
you know she has another book, Casey McQuiston?
Yeah, I think it's about some dudes, which is awesome, but not necessarily quite my zone.
It's about some dudes. It's about the
Red, white, and royal blue.
It's about
right?
the first son and falling in love with a prince, maybe?
Now that I've read her first book, I'll totally read this second one. And I think she's writing another one.
Let me see.
Coming out soonish.
What happens when America's first son falls in love with the Prince of Wales? That's what that one's about. I wonder if there is a supernatural element to that one. Oh, she has a third one. I Kissed Shara Wheeler.
Yeah. 18-year-old Chloe they're coming out in 2022.
Oh, cool. Yes, actually, Red, White, and Royal Blue was the first. And then One Last Stop was the second one.
Oh, here's the synopsis for the one coming out in 2022. 18-year-old Chloe almost has the valedictorian title in her grasp when her rival, small-town princess Shara Wheeler, vanishes after kissing 3 people, her quarterback sweetheart, the bad boy next door, and Chloe. Now the 3 must work together to follow Shara's clues, but secrets uncovered along the way could wreak havoc at their conservative southern high school. I love that.
Nice.
You know what's annoying is that and then it says I Kissed Sarah Wheeler is Casey McQuiston's first novel for young adult readers. But I found One Last Stop in the young adult section of my bookstore, and it's definitely not a young adult novel. It's a little too smexy for a young adult reader. Actually, it's not like that graphic. It's actually not.
I don't know. There are some really smexy young adult. Did you ever read any, oh my God, what was that book called? Forever?
No, but you dictated those scenes to me when we were young.
Yeah, that book got passed around my middle school. Like, but it's a young adult book. Who was that? Judy Blume?
Yeah, the sex scenes in this are hot and quite tasteful, I would say. No pun intended. Anyway.
Bloom, Blume. Maybe I should get that book too.
Just a strong rec.
Yes, I'm ordering it right now. Wait, I'm not signed in.
Great.
What the heck?
Order from your local. I started listening to the audiobook of this one, but found it to be too... I think the audiobook's good, but I like my audiobooks to be like a certain like levity. And I was like, oh, this has more meat to it. So I picked up a hard copy and was really happy I did.
Interesting. Like in terms of the content.
Yeah, just like,
Just,
Just in terms of the...
It's hard to describe. I don't know. It's like, this is a good read. Like, I wouldn't want to sit down and like read a romance novel necessarily. I prefer listening to those while I'm just doing chores or whatever.
I see.
You know? But this is like good to read. Just like...
My yes. You've answered my question, because my question was about whether it was like the reader themselves that was the problem. Because like, for example, Ella Enchanted, the audiobook, I have listened to it, but like the person who read it, I don't like her voice. So it's just like, you know.
You don't like her voice.
No. Our faces are wrong.
My face is wrong.
What's that from?
Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers.
Let me get that clip for you. It's so good. Oh, this is not YouTube. What? This is gonna be so worth it.
Share your screen. Just share your screen.
Okay. I don't know what the fuck this site is, but hopefully it's not giving me viruses. Share a tab. This one. That's it.
What's the context of this clip?
I don't remember.
Wait, I was thinking of a different time.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, everybody just watch Bob's Burgers. It's
Can I read a funny part of this book? Would that be ruining it?
no,
If I read a very funny part?
I don't think so.
So the scene is that August is seeing... So Jane is the girl on the train, her subway crush. And August is seeing her again. And so the name... And so... and the first time that August saw Jane, she spilled coffee on herself. So that's the context. The jacket's still there, draped over the backpack at her feet. And August is staring at her high-top Converse, the faded red of the canvas, when Subway Girl opens her eyes. Her mouth forms a soft little O of surprise. Coffee Girl. She smiles. One of her front teeth is crooked, at the slightest, most life-ruining angle. August feels every intelligent thought exit her skull. Subway Girl, she manages. Subway Girl's smile spreads. Morning. August's brain tries for high, and her mouth goes for morning, and what comes out is horny.
Wow. I'm gonna buy these books. Yes.
Buy those books.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna pick up Red, White, and Royal Blue from a local. I have a Girl from the Sea on hold there. On pickup. They're gonna call me and I'm gonna come pick it up.
Did you ever do that?
What?
Didn't you? Did you not? I thought you said it was ready.
No, that was another set of books. But they haven't called me yet.
Oh, so you can't come.
Well, they haven't left a message. Maybe they've called me. I don't accept any phone calls, but you know, I would hope they would leave a message if it was ready. But it was like out of print or on back print or something like that. Back order print.
Who knows?
Cool. Well, that is a book I'm gonna read, and I just ordered it to read it. So
Great.
from bookshop.org,
Cool.
which
Great.
is better than Amazon. Actually, I had it in my cart on Amazon, and then you said buy it from your local, and I switched over. So thanks.
I did read, listener Sam, friend Sam sent an article about how Bookshop isn't like quite the best.
What?
Yeah, I need to find it. Yeah.
Can't you like select a
Bookshop.org.
bookstore on there though?
Um,
I don't know. Both of my two favorite bookstores
send
have
this to you.
good websites that I order through most of the time.
yeah. But it's definitely better than Amazon, and it's, you know, probably better if you don't have a good local. What else do I have in my cart?
Yeah, all I have is a liquor store I can walk to. So,
And buy breakfast burritos from.
yeah. So I don't know.
Cool.
What else to do. Cool. Should we do homework?
Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
All right. Wow. Ben said yes. Ben, what's your homework?
Well, I said maybe. I haven't decided yet.
Yeah, don't put words in his mouth.
All right. Have you decided?
Still deciding.
Okay.
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. What's your homework?
My
Ben?
homework is to get Roll for the Galaxy and play it. And also to read the Entertainment Weekly interview with Jeff Probst, especially the last question. And also, like, find your Survivor guy, you know?
Yeah, that's great advice.
My Twitter is nicely proved Ben. My Twitch is Disco Greg. Good night.
Nice.
Good night.
End of podcast.
Night.
Good night.
My
Good
homework
night.
is study your history, your personal history, and your family history, and also watch Midnight Mass on Netflix if you want to get a little bit spooked.
Well, if you want to visit Ireland, you have a place to stay.
I do want to visit Ireland.
Oh, we should coordinate our visits.
Yes, that would be great. I would love to get back there. And Ian's never been, and I've expressed to him the oh, this is another thing I meant to mention. I felt a strong a connection to the land when we were there, in a way that I don't really feel usually when I'm home. And I want to see if that's still true. And I want to see if like Ian feels any of that, although I'm not sure where his family's from exactly. So maybe he wouldn't anyway. But I just want to see it again because I remember it being like the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life before or since. So
do you have access to those pictures we took?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna see what I can do.
I uploaded pictures from that trip, but seemingly only from the UK or from London mainly, not from Ireland. I don't know if maybe I didn't personally take a lot of pictures. And I have an album somewhere that I think like you made for me, or you sent me a lot of the pictures for it, but I don't know where it is at the moment. So okay. I don't think I have digital versions of them available.
I might have them on an old computer or an external drive or something. I'll try to dig those up. Okay, cool. My homework now?
Yeah.
Did you do all your things, your TikToks and all your bangs?
My Twitter and Instagram are both Anthropology. My TikTok is Hannah and her cats. I have been posting a little bit more cat content and also just like kind of like generally relaxing aesthetic, like nature sounds type content. On TikTok, it seems to be something TikTok likes to see from me. They've been like pushing it a little more, and also I like to make them because they're not a lot of work to make. I have like a lot of nice nature around, so I just like go out and take like a minute-long video, and I post it with no filters and no sounds over it, and that's pretty much it. So I like to make them. So check them out if you need some relaxation.
Cool.
Okay, Erin, what's your homework?
My homework is to pick up Casey McQuiston from your local. One last stop. Don't pick up Casey McQuiston. One last stop. And give it a read. And also her other book, Red, White, and Royal Blue. I'm going to order that. And yeah, very exciting.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. What else? That's it. Thanks.
That's it? Okay. If you want to call us or text us and tell us your obsession, you can do that at our phone number, 774-326-0420.
Blaze it.
Blaze it.
Blaze it. You can find us on Twitter at WayTooBroadPod. You can find us on Instagram at WayTooBroad. You can email us at WayTooBroad@gmail.com. And if you missed any of our contact information, or if you're looking for links or episode descriptions or topic index, you can find all that great stuff at WayTooBroad.com or WayTooBod.com or NameYourselfJame.com for anything you want. EarnBen.com for anything you need. MaxFun.org for a nice, happy dog on a boat. Make sure to check out Eamon on Bandcamp and Twitter, AEMYN. And thank you for making our theme music. Wonderful human being. And that's it. So the podcast candle is now extinguished.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks for everything.
Sway to